Socrates, a pivotal figure in ancient Greek philosophy, is renowned for his method of inquiry known as the Socratic method. Unlike many philosophers of his time, Socrates did not lecture or provide definitive answers. Instead, he engaged others in dialogue through a series of probing questions, aimed at uncovering underlying assumptions and stimulating critical thinking. This method, as depicted in Plato's dialogues, typically involved Socrates questioning his interlocutors about their beliefs and definitions of concepts like justice, virtue, and piety. Rather than asserting his own conclusions, Socrates sought to lead others to recognize contradictions or gaps in their reasoning, thereby encouraging a deeper understanding of truth and morality. The Socratic method is characterized by its emphasis on humility, intellectual humility, and the pursuit of knowledge through disciplined inquiry rather than dogmatic assertions. The Socratic method, attributed to the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, represents a profound approach to philosophical inquiry characterized by dialogue and questioning. Socrates, though he left no written works himself, is primarily known through the writings of his student Plato, who often depicted Socrates engaging in discussions with various interlocutors. Instead of lecturing or asserting his own theories, Socrates would ask probing questions designed to challenge assumptions, uncover inconsistencies, and prompt deeper reflection. This method, known for its intellectual humility and emphasis on critical thinking, aimed not at providing definitive answers, but at fostering an active pursuit of truth and understanding. By engaging in dialectical exchanges, Socrates sought to lead others to refine their thinking, recognize their own ignorance, and ultimately arrive at more reasoned conclusions about fundamental concepts such as justice, virtue, and the nature of the good life. The Socratic method's enduring legacy lies in its influence on Western philosophical thought, education, and the practice of ethical and legal reasoning, emphasizing the importance of rigorous inquiry and respectful dialogue in the pursuit of knowledge and moral clarity. In Socratic philosophy, wisdom is profoundly intertwined with the recognition of one's own ignorance. Socrates famously asserted that he was wiser than others only because he understood the extent of his own lack of knowledge. This paradoxical claim, known as the Socratic paradox, underscores a fundamental principle. True wisdom begins with humility and a willingness to question assumptions. Unlike the sophists of his time, who claimed to possess absolute knowledge and offered to teach it for a fee, Socrates engaged in philosophical dialogue aimed at uncovering deeper truths through questioning and critical inquiry. Through his method, Socrates sought not to impose his own views, but to guide others in examining their beliefs and values. This approach, characterized by intellectual humility and the pursuit of deeper understanding, encourages individuals to continually challenge themselves, refine their thinking, and strive for a clearer perception of reality and ethical living. Socrates' legacy thus lies not only in his philosophical ideas, but in his method of inquiry, which continues to inspire critical thinking and self-reflection in both philosophical discourse and everyday life. In Socratic philosophy, virtue and ethics are central themes that revolve around the pursuit of moral excellence and the cultivation of character. Socrates believed that true happiness and a good life were not achieved through external goods or pleasures, but through the development of virtues such as courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. He argued that virtue was unified, meaning that possessing one virtue meant possessing all virtues as they were interconnected and mutually supportive. Socrates emphasized the importance of self-examination, knowing oneself as foundational to ethical living. Encouraging individuals to understand their values, strengths, and weaknesses in order to align their actions with moral principles. His teachings on ethics often involved engaging others in dialogue to explore ethical dilemmas, question assumptions about morality, and strive towards a deeper understanding of what constitutes virtuous conduct. Socrates' ideas on virtue and ethics have had a lasting influence on Western philosophy, shaping discussions on morality, personal integrity, and the pursuit of a meaningful life based on ethical principles and self-reflection. The unexamined life in Socratic philosophy. Socrates famously declared that the unexamined life is not worth living. This statement encapsulates a foundational principle in his philosophy, emphasizing the importance of self-reflection, introspection, and critical inquiry as essential components of a meaningful existence. Socrates believed that human beings possess the capacity for reason and rational thought, which distinguishes them from other animals. To live a life guided purely by instinct or habit, without questioning one's beliefs, values, and actions, is to live without truly fulfilling one's potential as a rational being. Therefore, for Socrates, a life spent without engaging in self-examination and philosophical inquiry is devoid of the deeper understanding and self-awareness that gives life its richness and meaning. Central to Socrates' assertion is the idea of intellectual humility, recognition that one does not have all the answers and that knowledge is an ongoing pursuit. By examining one's life, questioning beliefs, reflecting on experiences, and seeking to understand oneself and the world, individuals can continuously learn and grow. This process of self-examination fosters intellectual humility and openness to new ideas, encouraging a lifelong journey of personal and intellectual development. Socrates' emphasis on the examined life extends beyond intellectual curiosity to ethical and moral considerations. By questioning one's own beliefs and values, individuals can evaluate whether their actions align with ethical principles and contribute to their own moral development. This introspective approach encourages individuals to take responsibility for their choices and strive towards living in accordance with virtues such as justice, courage, wisdom, and temperance. In practice, Socrates applied his belief in the examined life through his method of philosophical inquiry, known as the Socratic method. In his dialogues with fellow Athenians, he would engage in discussions that challenged assumptions, exposed inconsistencies, and prompted deeper reflection on fundamental questions of life, morality, and human existence. Through this dialectical process, Socrates aimed not only to uncover truths, but also to encourage others to think critically and develop their own understanding of what it means to live a good life. Justice and the social contract in Socratic philosophy. Socrates' discussions on justice are central to his philosophical inquiries, often explored through dialogues with fellow Athenians, particularly in Plato's writings. His approach to justice is multifaceted and intertwines with broader reflections on ethics, governance, and the nature of the good life. Socrates sought to uncover the essence of justice by engaging in dialectical exchanges aimed at clarifying its meaning and applications. He questioned conventional definitions and challenged his interlocutors to articulate what justice truly entails. Through these dialogues, Socrates emphasized that justice is not merely adherence to laws or social norms, but involves a deeper understanding of moral principles and the fair treatment of others. For Socrates, justice was not only a personal virtue, but also a civic duty. He believed that individuals have a moral obligation to contribute positively to society and uphold principles of fairness and equality. This perspective influenced his views on the social contract, the implicit agreement among members of a society to abide by certain rules and norms for the common good. Socrates critiqued the sophists of his time who taught rhetoric and claimed that justice was relative to individual opinions or societal conventions. In contrast, Socrates argued for objective moral truths and the importance of rational inquiry in discerning right from wrong. He emphasized the role of reason and ethical principles in guiding individuals and societies toward justice and moral integrity. Socrates linked the pursuit of justice with the cultivation of moral virtues and the examination of one's own conduct. He believed that individuals should strive to lead a just life by aligning their actions with ethical principles and considering the consequences of their choices on others. This introspective approach to justice underscores Socrates' broader philosophy of the examined life and the pursuit of moral excellence. Socrates' inquiries into justice laid the groundwork for subsequent philosophical reflections on ethics, politics, and governance. His dialogues with figures like Plato and Aristotle influenced the development of Western ethical theories, including theories of justice, democracy, and the rule of law. The enduring relevance of Socratic thought on justice continues to inspire discussions on fairness, equity, and the responsibilities of individuals within society. Socrates' willingness to face death rather than compromise his principles has made him a symbol of intellectual courage and integrity. His steadfast commitment to truth-seeking and moral inquiry continues to inspire individuals to question assumptions, challenge conventions, and strive for a deeper understanding of themselves and the world. In summary, Socrates' influence and legacy are far-reaching, spanning centuries of philosophical thought and cultural discourse. His method of inquiry, ethical teachings, and personal example as a martyr for philosophical principles have left an indelible mark on Western civilization, shaping the way we think about knowledge, morality, and the pursuit of wisdom. His legacy continues to shape philosophical inquiry, ethical reflection, and cultural narratives, reminding us of the timeless value of critical thinking, self-examination, and the pursuit of truth in the quest for a meaningful and virtuous life.